Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Caves of Cud, where today we set out on a new adventure, not entirely motivated by spite. As you can see here, I've chosen to start a new mutated human, and when you see the mutations that I picked, you're gonna think it's entirely motivated by spite, so I'm just trying to prep you for the fact there's a non-zero amount of spite. First of all, let's talk about our calling. So I spent some time thinking about this because I don't feel like my concept leans tremendously hard into any of the options here. I think we want to be a melee combatant on this one. And of the melee combatants, just looking around the options here, I do think it's kind of neat to get to start as a warden and have all this bonus rep with the Fellowship of Wardens so that you can pick up a cool helpful friend nice and early on. But I think in the end, I'm going to go for Marauder because I do like to cut things to pieces with an axe. And it's not like you can't do that with a Warden, but, you know, the Warden doesn't start with any relevant axe skills. You got to spend a lot of skill points to get to that place. I kind of want to do this thing, so I think we're going to go Marauder. Now, when I was thinking about what kind of character I wanted to play next, I had two major thoughts. Thought number one is, how do I prevent people from being able to sneak up on me and cause me to explode with a half dozen grenades all at the same time? I spent some time looking at all the mutation options, and there are surprisingly few things that will let you predict the presence of a person that you don't know is there in the first place. Like, there's, clairvoyance or whatever, but clairvoyance is an activated ability. In order to use clairvoyance, you have to have a reasonable sense that something might be in the area you're going to clairvoy. The best option I found, I think, was heightened hearing, which is just kind of always on and detects the presence of creatures within a certain distance. I assume, I know not all mutations can level up, but I assume this can level up and grow in radius. And in any case, even if it can't, it's still something, right? It's still something. And then the other thing I was thinking was, what if we could just be pals with the goat folk? What if we got around this problem by making it so the goat folk don't even want to throw half a dozen grenades at us? Unfortunately, not a lot of starting options that give you bonus reputation with goat folk. These horns, pretty much all I could find. There are several variants of the horn. I chose the one that is most goat-like because that, I think, fits in with the premise of, hey, what if we were just cool with the goat folk most effectively. You can see here, this gives some AV. It makes it so you can't wear helmets, but it gives you the AV of a helmet anyway. It has a nice chance on melee to gore your opponent for bonus damage, which may cause bleeding additionally. And so I think, that's part of where my desire to play a melee character comes from. And I think this gets us into a cool kind of goat folk headspace. But then I was like, well, you know what's better than a set of wicked horns on your head is, what if you had a bunch of heads with sets of wicked horns on them, right? Obviously, we need more goat, and this is how you goat more. So, 2 heads. This does give us a lower mental action cost, and it also makes it so we're more likely to shake off negative mental status effects. Once we had that, I was like, well, we should pick up something that has we should pick up a mental action, right? So that we can take advantage of that. I spent some time looking through the mental mutations, of which there are many, and you can see there are many actions here, but a lot of these have this same kind of problem where it's like, oh, the cooldown is 100 rounds. That's not ideal. If we're trying to take advantage of our two-headed thing, you'd like to be able to get the discount on your actions more than once every 100 rounds. But light manipulation. Light manipulation gives you a number of charges, basically, that you can you just radiate light, and you can spend some of your ability to radiate light to shoot a laser, to shoot your light radiation out as a focused laser. That's pretty cool. It gives us a ranged option. Also, it's just cool to shoot lasers at people, and especially it's cool to do it if it doesn't cost you very much in terms of action points, right? If it is effectively a very high quickness action, that's just free murder. At this point, things are getting a little expensive, and I still wanted to pick up like a little bit more juice here. So I decided I wanted double muscled, because if we're going to be right up on top of people and meleeing them and just taking big chunks out of them, why not? Chance to daze opponents, an extra 2 strength. This is like the goat dudes are built, right? They are big. But all this stuff, it's too many points. So I did have to take a defect as well, earn some of our points back, and I decided that there is nothing more goat folk than being so unreasonably irritable that it is built into your very DNA. So, genome is irritable and unpredictable. Whenever we spend a mutation point, the next mutation point we gain will immediately get spent randomly. And whenever we buy a new mutation, it will just hand us a random one. We don't get to choose. I don't know. That could be fun. So, with that, let's build out here. We have bonus strength from our Marauder Calling and additional bonus strength that is not represented in the score from double muscled, because I believe that's just applied directly to the attacks. So we want to be pretty good at strength. How effectively you penetrate opponent's armor with melee attacks, how much damage your melee attacks do, carry capacity. Obviously, all this stuff is good. We want some ego, because ego is a thing we were really bad at before, and I would like to be better at it. And also, I think it affects the damage of... See, it says the potency of your mental mutations. I think ego affects the damage of the laser. I'm not 100% sure of that. But even if it doesn't, better prices for merchants and stuff, the ability to dominate the wills of living creatures, that's valuable, right? We're obviously going to need some amount of toughness, because survival, because don't die. And like, what if with this character we could tinker just like a little bit more easily? So if we take these scores to this point, it's pretty cheap. Agility is melee accuracy, so that does matter. We're gonna end up with such a bad willpower score. I mean, we got to get a little something going here. Tinker 1 is on 19 int, right? And then Tinker 2 was like a little higher. I think we can afford to... We took this as high as we could take it at 1 point per point. We can afford to take the further intelligence levels post-character creation, probably. Let's push strength up a little bit more, and then... do we want to push agility for the accuracy, or do I want to... just go into strength? Let's take a little bit more accuracy, and also dodges. It's not nothing. Okay, I mean, that's something. That sure is like the girl who couldn't choose. Yeah, if we want to have good access to our strength skills, like our axe-based skills, we're gonna need more strength than this. And obviously, you can level up your strength in the world. But I wonder how bad would it be to just have garbage willpower? Like, how low can your willpower be without it being a huge danger to you? Because I would like to get a little bit more strength going. All right, you know what? We'll pull down ego and get the strength from there. We'll pull down... maybe like drop the willpower, drop a little bit more agility. Like, we really do need to have some juice up here. And then maybe you get a lot of toughness, you get a lot of hit points from leveling up. And obviously toughness does matter. But also, what if ego is very fun to have? I'm gonna roll it like this. We'll fix it in post. We'll just gain so many skill points out there in the world that it won't matter what we did here. All right, is this a sensible way to build a character? Fucking, I don't know. Maybe. This character obviously is, geez. So like the core idea is that we have these two heads, right? The four horns, the Jackie four horns, except this is not all that cud. Like, Jackie, can we cud this up a little bit? Like it. I love it. Actually, I love it. It's so good. Yeah, submit. And do we want to bring a pet with us into this terrible nightmare of an idea? Yopinex the Younger, you appear to have antlers, my friend. Congratulations. Welcome to the team. Okay, last thing. Do we start in Joppa? We've started in Joppa the last couple of times. You have a good idea now, I think, of what a Joppa start allows. I believe every village has a quest that... every starting village has a quest that ends with you getting the stamped disc that takes you to Gritgate, and then you merge into the main quest from there. So if we start here, the village teaches us harvestry. We get some bonus reputation with insects and fish. Here we get reptile reputation, and the village teaches us the fasting way, which I don't remember exactly what it does. Wayfaring, equines, tortoises, and vines. And if we start on a hill village, we get... So we already know butchering. Butchering came with our class, our calling. So the value of this one's a little bit lowered. I mean, wayfaring is kind of cool. Maybe we want to start in like a randomized village. Bonus reputation with insects and fish and a pair of crocosins. If we start with harvestry and we have butchering, we could pick up some cooking skills like really early and try to put ourselves in a good spot cooking wise. Like, I don't know if you can learn recipes by just experimenting. We should play with the cooking system a little bit more. And I think this is how we're going to do it. Okay, random village in the salt marshes. Let's try it. Chiki Four Horns from the salt marsh. Gra, says Warden Indrix, and don't we all. See, the game gets what we're doing. Time to embark for the Caves of Kut. On the 11th of Shwut-Ux, we arrive at the village of Naarrawar. On the horizon, Kut's jungles strangle chrome steeples and rusted archways to the earth. You know how this goes. Okay, so here is our starting village. We are this character down here. So let's learn a little bit about our friend, Yopinex the Younger. Under a coat of curly fur, dappled skin dents, dodecagons... words. I'm just going to start over. Under a coat of curly fur, dappled skin dents, dodecagons, catch the filtered brightness of the wide world and thrash it back against itself 12 times, and then breathe out a soft glow. It lights the beards of the three thin necks, each craning ahead to inspect the others, and acting as a lever for its set of hooking horns. The god goat is mute and severe. Engagement style, aggressive. Hell yes. Can we chat? Do you talk? Bah. Fair. Can we look at your recall story? Oh. Excerpt from Across Mokaryi, Volume 2, Athenreach, by Bakata Utark. The Eustace Sutton Monastery at Athenreach is one of the largest communities of disciples of the Eustace Sutta outside of the Hanging Hills. It was founded in 114 PP by the Pilgrim Monk Ume. PP. Usually we see a date system that's based on Reshef, right? I don't know if BR and AR are based on the dates of Reshef's birth or death. But anyway, this is something else. It was founded in 114 PP by the pilgrim monk Ume, who blessed the location as sacred because it lay along the path of the prophet Uchal's pilgrimage toward Iber. The monastery houses two hallowed artifacts of the Eustace Sutta discipline: the scrolls of one Priam, discovered and transcribed by the monastery's erstwhile abbot Flavian the Learned, and the presumptive hide of Yopinex, the great three-headed mountain goat on which Uchal's is said to have ridden to the waterfall at Iber, and whose hide was so tough that it was said to later protect Uchal from starfire along the Black Stair after the goat's death. And scribbled in the margin here we have mumbles of a Yopinex sighting on the Bowl of Iris, perhaps a descendant of the famed goat. Damn those inscrutable mouths. We know a thing or two about inscrutable mouths, don't we? Okay, so we got a pal here. This village seems to be full of fishes. They are the people of this place. Okay. That's interesting. Village Tinker. We got a statue over here. This looks like Reshef. No, this is a shrine to Kopur, wife of Narlolu. An event from the life of the ancient Sultan Kopur. In 6232 BR, after a bout of gout, Kopur's counselors suggested she abdicate the throne. Instead, she spent the day water fasting, then continued her reign like nothing had happened. All right. All right, listen, if you can just bounce back from the gout, why not, right? All right, we'll write that down. This is a warden. Warden Orur. Seems like it would be hard to say if you were a fish, although I guess if you were a fish with your mouth stuck in that shape, this maybe is the only thing you can say. A giant ribbon of scaleless tissue quivers in suspension beyond a mouth ringed with repeating triangle teeth, and imagined finnage dresses its glistening length. It extrudes a double through the mirrored planes of reality and inverts back through them to extrude a triple. It's a weird fish to look at, is the point that we're making. So these are the other wardens, I guess. So this is the real one, which we can tell because it's the one that has the reputations. Admired by the villagers of Naarrawar for defending their village, disliked by the villagers of Kyakukya for casting doubt on their beliefs. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, we'll probably still do the water ritual, right? Up here, we just have a legendary glowfish. And, I mean, he's doing a great job. He's glowing. Looks like a legend. Here we have a mechanimist convert who's going to give us the quest to go to the stilt. Got a dromad, of course. What is over here? Strange furniture and also a bookshelf to start with. Okay, let's go introduce ourselves. Let's go say hi to the warden. Stay out of trouble, wanderer. Oh, I was kind of hoping you could give me work. You know, we're not super hot on water right now, and I don't really want to get people in Kyakukya mad at me, but yeah, sure. Wow, we started really negative with the Fellowship of Wardens. Whoa, okay. That is something. 776 reputation? How strong are you? I wish there was an easy way to just, like, look at a creature's stats. You have nothing to trade, of course. What is this structure made out of? Okay. It's just a marble wall, and there's a bunch of pipes running all over the place. And what a weird little town. A Klein. Convivia in the Lyman, the boundary between sun-baked Mogra Yi and the shade of the spindle, involves the mulling of cider, holography, and the arrangement of clean-eye at right angles. Just, you know, relaxing. That's how the game talks about just relaxing. Okay, we smoked the hookah. There is nothing in these. Okay, so now big question. Am I allowed to take these books? Will people kill me if I take these books? If so, okay, you don't own this bookshelf. I probably shouldn't. Hey there, friend. The village apothecary. What's up? I'm looking for work. Talk to Naarrawar to the north, or Naarrawar to the east. Okay. Also, do you have stuff? A Vinewood sap mask. I mean, we don't really need that. It would not be a terrible idea to have some bandages. I feel like we can part with a couple of torches, probably. Like, let's say I wanted 2 bandages. If I give you all my torches and a dram, we should probably not give all the torches. Let's do this and 2 drams of water. We'll just hold on to a couple. In case, you know, if the same reasons as last time. Okay, are you one of the important folk? You yeah, the queen, no less. Loved by the villagers of Naarrawar, disliked by apes for selling a map of their vaults to adventurers, disliked by the Gyrewites for telling bawdy jokes. They have a very puritanical sense of humor. Hi. Drifter, welcome to the village of Naarrawar. Here you will find shade and victual, along with other provisions to help you better scour the rust caves for treasure. As long as you are respectful, you may drink of our fresh water and quench your thirst. I'm looking for work, actually. Hear me, Drifter. There was a time where my kinsfolk would spend our days laying eggs. But after discovering the purity of Kopur, We changed our customs and composed new customs. Sadly, misfortune has separated us from our copper-like, flawless crystal arrow. How is it? Okay. We need someone to recover it, traveler. Will you do it? My kin tell me it has been taken to Hyperboloid Tree Had. We will reward your services. I guess so. Sure, friend. Ruins with becoming nooks. Okay. Yeah, I'm into it. I'm on it. I'll do it. If you think there's a ruin I can't get into, you're probably right about that, but we're going to change your opinion later. I would like to level up some first. What about you? You got work? You do indeed have work. Mind what I say, friend. I have a stint for you. A short while ago, I visited Hyperboloid Shabikesh and found a giant dragonfly corpse of the Copuric ghost. For my own collection, I must get a hold of it. Well, alright, it sounds like you found it already, though. You just leave it there, and now okay. Leaver's remorse. I'm willing to reward your service if you snag it for me. Sure, I'll bring you a corpse or whatever. So this is the quest that yields the disc, obviously. Hey, you, stop. No, stop moving away from me. Do I venture northwise? Oh, I absolutely would love to venture northwise, and I will make this journey. Thank you. You know, we don't necessarily need to reread all the text for stuff that we have read before. I mean, I guess it makes sense that warden has a super high recruitment cost if it's actually 3 wardens. That seems like a big powerful thing for sure. Okay, so a glow sphere would be helpful, although I guess we do have our natural glowiness. Can't really afford anything from you. I feel like we started with even less money. One way that Joppa is kind of like a big deal as a starting location is it has that building that always has the that building with the closable door that always has the one canteen in it with a bunch of water, and so it lets you start out with a little bit more money. Also, these villages don't have that secondary screen with extra, with the extra statue on it. It looks like. Yeah. Okay. So before we get going here, let's familiarize ourselves with our situation. We have, to begin with, some crocossins. Scutes are arranged like stony pikes around the apron of the shoe. Light reflects off the enamel shine. 1 armor value, not a bad piece of free gear. We also have, around our body wrapped, a wet fur, which is pretty crummy. We'll be trying to fix that real fast. We do not have horns on both of our heads. Okay, so all of a sudden, Jackie Fourhorns has become like a mocking nickname that we were given by others. And in our shame, we must seek a way to behorn our left head as it should be. Defy the cruel gods that have not given us enough horns for the number of heads that we have. We have a wet bronze battle axe. I mean, that's a pretty bad 1d2. It's a pretty bad weapon. We got a lot of problems, and we got to solve them in a real hurry here. So I guess let's do it. Go up to the world map. We started, okay, pretty close to where Joppa generally is. I believe that on the tile where Joppa would be if we started there, we will find a ruined village. I don't know if there'll be stuff worth looting there, but there might be. So this is Hyperboloid Shabikesh. The other location we learned about is way out here. That's interesting and potentially very dangerous. I guess let's go for this one first. So we should also talk about skills. So we have axe proficiency, bonus to hit with axes, pretty rad. We have started with Dismember. So a cooldown, 30 turns. It is an axe attack, and if you hit and penetrate, you dismember one of the opponent's limbs at random, and they start bleeding. Additionally, axe attacks that penetrate have a percentage chance to cleave stuff off, 3% for one-handed axes, and 6% for two-handed axes. So obviously we can do an awful lot of damage there. If we pick up cleave, the next skill that I'm definitely looking at, we have the ability to deal damage to the opponent's armor, temporary damage. But in our case, usually once we've started hitting something with the axe, it is either going to die or we are going to die. So we can break down armor over time and make a thing more vulnerable. We started, like I said, with butchery. We did not start with cooking and gathering or meal preparation, but we did start with butchery. So every time we move over an animal corpse, we can pull eatable parts from it. We also got to start with charge. Lets you move forward 2 to 3 squares and perform a melee attack with +1 to the penetration roll. Thing we're going to want to be doing fairly frequently against enemies to close distance. And I think that's it as far as starting stuff. But that kind of describes our early combat strategy. And then, of course, we have the laser. A lair. I guess let's have a look. Empipharum bibivelsis. The legendary glowfish. Lairs here. So these glowfish are all kind of like, usually legendary creatures are this color. It's a little tricky with a glowfish to tell which one's going to be the legendary one because they all look like that. But I suppose the real thing's going to be in the lair, right? Not just hanging out here. So we have some sewage eels, which are actually pretty difficult to deal with at this level. My guess is there's going to be a lot of water down in the lair. Oh, there's a corpse up there. What died? I think maybe we don't engage any more tightly with that right now. We'll come back once we're a little tougher. All right, so into Hyperboloid Shabikesh. Where we'll find the giant dragonfly corpse of the Copuric Ghost. One hopes. Or potentially we will simply get horribly murdered. Okay, look at that. Our hearing is detecting something. It's a turtle. Okay, we don't get a look prompt at that turtle. That makes sense. All right, well, I guess let's charge it, right? Yeah, 4. Oh, you must charge at least 2 spaces. There we go. Ha. Okay, we got through. We did something. Tortoise starts bleeding. Do we try to dismember it? I guess so, right? No reason to wait. I chopped off its face. Well, it's certainly bleeding now. Is that a nullworm? Is that a whole nullworm coming at me as well? A plated nullworm. This is not great. The amount of stuff that's already at us is pretty bad. Our friend, the goat, is helping with combat, so that's nice. Yopanex the Younger is launching into a flurry of attacks. What a badass. We should laze, perhaps. What if I shot you with a laser? Laser beam doesn't penetrate the armor. All right. Fair enough. Okay. I mean, the thing is, it's, in theory, very fast for us to spend our laze charges. 9 health. Jeez. Okay, we've run out of laze charges. We have to let that recover. I am a little worried. You can see charge has a cooldown, dismember has a cooldown, tracked in bracketed number after the name. I do want to be like a little bit cautious. I definitely don't want to just take a hit of the witchwood bark because you know what's going to happen there. But I also don't want to risk dying suddenly. So I'm kind of just dancing until my HP comes back. Yopanex, buddy, how you doing? He's fine. Have they attacked him yet? I actually don't know if he's getting attacked. It does seem like the enemies are not really focusing on him. And in fact, it looked like the Naarrawar finished off the turtle. The Naarrawar is faster than I am. I was trying to back up to charge range, but it looks like that's not happening. Okay, Yopanex the Younger also has charge, which is handy. I guess I'm going to laze it. It cracked my Crocusins. Again, this is a temporary state, but it does mean we're down 1 AV. So right now, it's going to have a pretty easy time hitting me. You know what? Maybe it is, in fact, time to hit the Witchwood Bark. Combat's never going to be more difficult than it is right now. All right. Oh, hey, we resisted the, what do you call it? The confusion effect. So our flesh is knitting. A warm, tingling sensation has washed over us. And the Naarrawar is still doing a lot of damage. I'm glad that I chose to heal. I do not want to be adjacent to the Naarrawar and the turtle at the same time. Thank you, Yopanex. Out here saving lives. Trying to get some distance from this turtle so that I can get a good charge on it. Oh, that's not good enough. Aha, you fool. Well, that was something. Okay, wow, 9 damage with the horns. Alright, so it's got this ability to tighten its carapace, but when it does that, it, you know, obviously it's getting harder for us to hit it, but it's still bleeding. Okay, so carapace loosens, and we dismember. We did not get that. We didn't get a cool dismember on that one. Okay, chopped our way through a couple of creatures. And yeah, look at that, already 26 max HP. Let's just take a second to rest here. Okay, so we got some raw worm meat. There's a bloody, irritable tortoise's face in this tile. So that's something. Tortoises do not like it when you are wearing a tortoise face, but it does give +1 ego. I mean, I feel like, what if we become Jackie Fourface? I mean, we're at 3 already. It would be so easy. It's the perfect plan. It's the perfect plan. Okay, so we have here, yeah, just some salt-encrusted garbage, some garbage-encrusted garbage, which is, I guess, less exciting. Looks like an Arcanaut. Okay, the Arcanaut has some stuff. Not probably worth trading for. Not that I even have anything worth trading. How tough are you? He's rated as tough. I probably shouldn't try to kill him and take his stuff. But I do think that's in character. This guy is, I'm a little worried about this guy killing us instead. But it's not off the table once we level up a little bit. That's not a corpse, though. That's a whole dragonfly. But it is a dragonfly, so, like, are there other... Yeah, we should probably respond to that turtle. I was going to just go after it. I like the fact that Yopanex and I charge at the same time. I think that's a very scary way to initiate combat. And then, dismember. That didn't really work. Okay. But Yopanex is engaging a flurry of attacks. I will say, it does seem like he's quite helpful. Alright, I'm going to rest until healed here. So where do I think there would be just like a dragonfly corpse sitting on the ground? It's not going to have the dragonfly sprite, right? It's going to have the corpse sprite. It might be underground too. This might be a thing where we need to take a dive into a dungeon. Although that... Okay, that's a Witchwood Wreath for some reason. Alright, unfortunately, Yopanax is behind us. Tortoise tightened his carapace, so we're going to wait until it opens up again before we attempt the dismember. Didn't get there. Okay, I will say I am a little bit, all right, caught him with the horns. He started bleeding again. Good news. I'm a little bit missing the safety of being able to like disengage at speed. You know, all those legs. Yopanax, do you think you could finish that one off for me? I'm having a little bit of a... I'm finding it challenging. Okay. Rest until healed. As always, if they let you, why not? Okay, we're still just looking for a corpse or a way down into a dungeon or something. Again, if he thought the corpse was so rad, I don't understand why he didn't just pick it up and carry it with him. Oh, hey. Snapjaws. Snapjaws I feel like we can fight. Ooh, range snapjaws. Okay, let's be smart here. I'm gonna dismember this one. Did I get him? It seemed like I got a chunk out of him there. Yes, it took his right hand clean off. The hand he was wielding his sword with. Certainly limits the danger. You think you get to just shoot arrows at me? Wow. Okay, actually, there's a lot of you. Huh. I guess that's kind of like their whole thing. Ow. I'm going to sprint. Then I'm gonna laze this guy, actually. Oh, that was neat. Sprint to freedom. What's in this tile with me? I don't think we probably need that guy's hand. I will take his sword, though. And then I will get behind cover, and I will wait here until... Let me turn off sprint. I'm sure okay, I can rest until healed, because I'm not in combat. I was going to say, I'm sure Yopanax is going to solve this, right? We stole a beaded bracelet there. The guy also had 2 bronze daggers. You know what? We'll take the short bow too. And for some reason, here's that corpse inside this box. Please do not eat the corpse. It's wild that that's even an option. Why would that be an option? Okay, this guy had a weird artifact. The odd trinket is the mechanimist thing, right? What is this? Okay, an electrified bronze dagger. Not something that we are likely to use, but yeah, I'm cool to sell it for sure. Okay. And there are some other chests. Ooh, on the origins and nature of the dark calculus. Hell yeah. You know what? Take all this stuff. And another chest. Hell yes. What do we got here? Free grenade, sure. Free apple, also sure. Those things are roughly equivalently exciting. So bark armor is not actually any better than just furs. Yeah, it's kind of the same deal. Okay, let me have a look at this this book here real quick. Editor's note, this excerpt is published with permission from the notes of Barathrum the Old. Hey, we know that guy in theory. There's evidence in the arithmetic record that the study of formal systems reached a pernicious apex in the long before. Advancements made by mathematicians such as Russell, Gödel, Eisencroft, Atufu, Wheatgrass, and System Star contributed to the understanding of notions like undecidability, pointed regularism, and abyssalism. Upon reaching this minimal degree of mathematical maturity, equipped with sophisticated grammars, researchers set out to experiment with the limits of expressibility. They contrived bold research programs and galloped into the mathematical wood, unwitting of the dangers that brewed there. The record is even scarcer than usual due to the efforts of successive generations to obfuscate the venture. As best as I can gather, at some point in the course of inquiry, a theorist from a mathematical seminary called the Cupola formulated a conjecture on the fragility of formal semantics. The conjecture ripened to a broader theory, out of which spawned a formal system called the penumbra calculus. In the few fragments of text that predate the obfuscation, it's stated that in the penumbra calculus, certain theorems are provable but are falsified upon completion of their proofs. As much as this result is at odds with the systems of thought I've encountered in my own inquiries, I find little reason to doubt the veracity of the authors. Nevertheless, it's certainly a peculiar property. Yeah, I would say so. The cupola theorists' results erupted into a grand investigation into the expressibility of the penumbra calculus. The conclusions were troubling. Pushing further, researchers constructed sister systems with alternate axioms. These systems were still more fragile, with the system's inference rules themselves unraveling upon the completion of certain proofs. Convinced that their discoveries were made possible by some idiosyncrasy of self-awareness, but synchronously fearful of the implications of their results, some schools of theorists engineered complex automated deduction systems to probe boundary theorems and launched them into neutron stars. The outcome's undocumented, if you would believe it, but the result convinced theorists across the coven to abandon research and blacklist anyone who studied the penumbra calculus and its derivative systems. Peculiarly, support for the injunction was unanimous. Of note, even the space folder Pto agreed to abandon its investigation into the forbidden calculi from the reaches of its bleak star. Though the manner of its consent was not without controversy. To announce its accord, it inverted the color charge of quarks in a small region of space, causing a research station to collapse in on itself. Nonetheless, Pto's consent is testament to the degree of existential anxiety that could cause investigation into the penumbra calculus to go dark. I mean, it kind of seems like investigation into the penumbra calculus was going to do that anyway. A math that will not be known, or at least will not be proven. And then we don't need to identify this, but I guess let's identify it. It's a box of crayons. Okay. We can do what we were supposed to do with those. So this was productive. Gained a lot of levels very quickly. Let's have a quick look around the rest of the tile. Oh, that's a salt hopper. Maybe I should not have had a quick look around the rest of the tile. That thing has rending mandibles. But on the other hand, lasers. Yeah, lasers plus Yopanax doing what Yopanax does. Pardon me. You know what this is? This is the penumbra calculus, out to silence me. Okay, well at this point I feel like we can probably head back. Nope, and we're lost. And we've discovered the lair of a different legendary glowfish in the same parasang. Well, if we can find the legendary glowfish, it will be capable of speech. I think all legendary creatures can talk to you, so it could tell us where we are. And we can deal with this sewage eel by just melting its face from a distance with our crazy brain laser. Speaking of crazy brain lasers for sewage eels. Hey, you. Wow. Okay. Yopanax does not like that particular glowfish. I'm not sure what happened there. All right. I guess he's just gonna go fight everybody. Buddy, do you need to talk? What happened? Okay. All right. You want to do this? This is just a random glowfish. Okay. Yeah, it's not a member of the legendary fish's entourage or anything. Oh, I didn't even notice the jilted lover there. Okay, our genome enters an excited state. Would we like to spend 4 mutation points to buy a mutation before rapidly mutating? I guess so. We gained chill. And then we can rapid advance. I mean, I want to rapid advance my horns, right? I think so. So yeah, we can improve. Okay, we can improve all of this stuff, and all of it's good. But I feel like rapid advancing the horns is the thing that makes the most sense. And we've already refilled all of our laze charges. Okay. I like having a laser very much. Oh no. What I do not like is that thing. Oh no, it's just a seed spitter. Never mind. For some reason I thought that was a thirst thistle. Obviously those are bad news. My guess is that we're going to find that the way down into the lair is in that room. It just feels like the way these things usually go. I am going to make sure that we kill every one of these eels. First of all, because they're jerks. And secondly, because they are a remarkably good amount of XP for how much trouble they give us at this point. It's a very, very safe way to earn some decent XP. Yeah, it does look like we're going to have to go in there, huh? All right. Well, what if I shot you with my brain lasers? How about that? Oops, I meant to destroy the Dreadroot. Okay. Stupid ivory. Okay, I'm going to back up a little bit. Oh, Yumpanex will kill the ivory for us. That's nice. And I'm going to just rest until healed. Oh, we can't really rest until healed while you're still bleeding. Okay, there we go. Yumpanex is fighting because he's... Yeah. All right. Oh, Jesus. This room is filled with horrible monsters. Okay, let's lend our friend a hand here. Okay, I'm out of brain lasers there, buddy. Are you okay? You look actually pretty hurt. Yeah, I don't love the idea that he might die. Let's get rid of that. Can you come back? Can you come with me? Okay. He stood still long enough for us to heal up, at the very least. Did I really get impaled by... God damn it. So it's Jilted Lovers and Young Ivory in every tile. Okay, we can back off to here, and then I can just rest until healed, because none of these enemies can actually reach us. All right, speaking of which, I guess let's take a second here to set up camp and eat some embossed fish meat, some dragonfly thorax, and a berry. Oh, what is embossed on the fish meat? Why would there be... Okay, never mind. Don't worry about it. Don't try to make sense of it. It's Cud. It's just Cud doing what Cud does. Okay. That is enough. Enough garbage from all of you. Okay, so I guess maybe there's not even anywhere to go here. It is possible that just like one of these glowfish over here in this group was the legendary glowfish, and I didn't notice because, again, they are visually indistinguishable from a legendary creature in the first place. But usually, like, a legendary creature has an entourage, right? That's like pretty noticeable. And this is the location of a lair specifically. You would usually expect a lair. Okay, hold on. There's stairs up there. I was gonna say you would expect a lair to be underground. I feel like it's sort of gently implied. Okay. So you can see we have a little bit of vision. We have a limited vision. What's your deal? Okay, you're just normal glowfish. Hopefully Yumpanex will not feel the need to go totally sick house on your asses. Okay, that one's not in water. I suspect that's meaningful. That is, in fact, the legendary one. Loved by fish, hated by tortoises. Disliked by the Daughters of Exile for worshipping a highly entropic being. I mean, why would you ever worship anything else, right? And indeed, the fish knows where we are. Has nothing to trade. Do we want to do a trade with you? Loved by fish, hated by tortoises. I mean, tortoises don't like me very much as it is on account of I'm wearing a tortoise face. So you know what? Your thirst is mine, putty. Despised by tortoises. Okay. I have a secret to share. Did you know about Coper's counselors? Fish are now indifferent to you. Cool. And we could learn swimming. Eventually. Should we make enough fishy friends? Alright, let's explore this layer a little bit more. Perhaps we can find some treasures. I would love to find like a couple of bookcases, if we can. What is that? 3 drams of cider. Can I collect this cider? Okay. Nobody gets mad. What do fish want with cider, right? What could they possibly do with it? No, not that. I wanted to... Yeah, collect wine. Hell yeah. What's in this one? Additional wine. You know what? We'll pick up the whole bottle. The bottle we can pick up. I can't carry around a big vase like that. Apparently. But more liquid containers is obviously a pretty good idea for us. We have very few water skins to start with. I will say the Joppa start does feel easier, but it's also, you know, there's a little bit of randomness there, right? Like, it's also the case that sometimes you get a start in a different, in a randomized village that has some, like, huge benefits. Okay, couple grenades, burnt capacitor, take all that. Oh, we have discovered enemies. I mean, I guess just wait for him to walk over here and then chop, chop, chop. Can you cut off pieces of an amoeba? Oh, I'm trying to step upward here because I'm actually getting my ass kicked, and I'm finding it remarkably difficult to back up. Wow, these things are only worth 12 XP? That's crazy, considering how much damage they're doing to me. If I rest until healed, you hear a giant amoeba to the east, so you refrain from resting. I suppose that's fair. How you doing, Yopanax? Because we didn't actually fight these ones, he's not fighting them. But he is keeping them from moving in on us. So actually, like, fantastic job. And then all of a sudden, as soon as I get over here, now he's live. Well, I'm going to let him do that. He seems to be a pretty good fighter. Me and my legendary... So yeah, it's the two-headed goat and the legendary three-headed goat hanging out together. Going on adventures, having a great time. Between us, 5 heads worth of goatly irritability. A shrine to Misa, wife to Farasatalb Asafat. Well, that's definitely a name that someone was given by their enemies. While leading a small army in the spice-worshipping quarter of Ipad, Misa was challenged by a pretender to a duel over an ordinance mandating the practice of making a pilgrimage. She won and had the aspirant drawn and quartered. She was 84 years old. Okay, I'm not trying to engage in any, like, Okay, we did discover the location there. Is this is a door? Okay, this is a gate, yeah. No, I don't want that. I definitely don't want to desecrate. I'm trying to steal the wine. Oh, I took the whole pitcher. I mean, I guess that's fine. Yeah, I'm not trying to, like, say that, you know, old people are incapable of things. You know, I don't believe that. I think we're way too quick to dismiss our elders and whatnot. But, like, should you be losing a duel to an 84-year-old? I guess it depends on what kind of duel it was. If it's pistols or whatever, anybody can wield a pistol, probably. Well, except for groundskeeper Willie. All right, I guess let's head back. So wait, over here. Oh yeah, that's the hyperboloid, right? This is the thing. This is a place we got lost on the way back home. Hey, great news. There, Moshirak. I found the giant dragonfly corpse of the Kopuric ghost. Our thanks, Drifter. You've proven yourself a friend to our village. Take this recoiler and return whenever your throat is dry. Plant seeds in arable land and reap the king. Sure. Alright, so we got ourselves a recoiler for the village. Are you seeking more work, friend? Recently, we came into possession of a data disk bearing a peculiar stamp and encoded with a strange signal. The signal means nothing to us, but there's a sect of tinkers called the Barathramites. You know the deal with these Barathramites. I'll take that disk to Great Gate. That sounds great. Okay, so he keeps talking about drinking, but like this is all salt water. Nobody can drink any of this garbage. I don't know. Actually, maybe they can. Maybe they can internalize the salt water. I am very worried about the amount of water we have on us. We can sell some stuff here and maybe improve that amount of water. I don't think we need this trinket. I think I'm cool to just sell kind of all of this. I mean, ordinarily I'd be, concerned about selling our first actual ranged weapon, but I do think that it's probably okay to sell a crummy bow when we have the ability to shoot lasers at people. We're not going to need water-stained bark armor. I think we can hold on to the rest of this stuff for right now. This is just going to get us up to an amount of water I feel comfortable. Oh. I don't quite have the... Yeah, you know what? That's fine. I can get shorted 1 dram. Let me transfer some stuff here. Hold on. My inventory's a goofy mess. Let's pour this into the water skin. And then pour this into the water skin. Okay, there we go. We got at least a couple more containers. Actually, do we get to know what the maximum capacity of these things is? Because maybe it would be better... Can I put all 9 grams of wine into the glass bottle, actually? Yeah, because water skins have a pretty high capacity. Oh, you know what? We sold all those weapons, but actually, I probably should have equipped a weapon in my other hand, because we don't really need a torch. I mean, I guess like the torch is nice because we still have light, even when I have spent all of our light charges. Yeah, I guess that's meaningful. All right. Speaking of things to spend, haven't really spent any of our accumulated stats, so it's gonna be a minute before we have enough strength to be able to buy any new skills, right? Or, before we want to move on to like being able to pick up Berserk, I mean, because we have the strength for the first set of important skills. Decapitate adds heads to the list of possible limbs you can dismember. Chopping off the only head of a creature, of course, kills it instantly. If the creature has multiple heads, they merely start bleeding profusely. Well, I do think, like, Cleave is pretty good. Charging Strike makes it so if you charge with an axe and hit, if you cleave, you get an additional point of cleave on them, which is rad. And if you have Dismember, your chance to dismember when charging is doubled. When you charge with a cudgel and hit, you automatically daze the opponent. That's kind of cool, too. Hook and Drag lets you grab an opponent's limb with the heel of your axe. If successful, you pull them with you as you move and make a free attack with your axe. Your opponent gets a chance to resist the move and a chance to break free at the start of their turn. Lasts for 9 rounds or until you chop something off of them. So my inclination for, just for the sake of combat effectiveness, is to take Decapitate because it's really funny when you accidentally defeat an enemy. And then like Cleave is just that's a good classic axe skill. Okay, and then we probably don't need to take a point of strength right away. If I wanted to grab Tinker eventually, let's just say that I did. Tinker 1 is at 19 intelligence, Tinker 2 is at 23. So we don't need to gain a point of intelligence if we intend to stop at Tinker 1. I don't know that I do, though. Because, like, every 6 levels or whatever, we get an automatic point in every stat. I kind of think I'm going to try to push our intelligence up a little higher than that. We'll try to get to Tinker 2 for sure. We also have spent our mutation points. So horns, next rank of horns, we get another point of armor value. And you can see the 2-hit bonus and the damage increment of our horn attack has already increased. It doesn't look like the reputation bonus is increasing, which is a little bit of a shame. We got an extra point of light manipulation. You can see as we continue to level this up, the penetration and the damage both go up, which is nice. Ambient light recharges at a rate of 1 unit every 15 rounds until you get back to 5 charges. Okay. And there is a chance to reflect light-based damage, which I don't really know the meaning of, presumably, you know, lasers or whatever. We also picked up cryokinesis from that random mutation, so we have the ability to chill an area, a 3x3 area within range 8, over 3 rounds, dealing damage and freezing things. Okay, with a cooldown of 50 rounds. That's pretty rad. I'm feeling more powerful already. With that and a little bit of actual adventuring water, do we want to maybe step out toward our other quest here? And in doing so, in the direction of the 6-day stilt? Over by Gritgate, there is the iPad root quad. The eaters extolled the divine nature of spice roots in the vanished quarter whose ruins lie under a chrome arch. Yeah, you know what? Let's try to... lost in the desert. What is that? It is a big river of salt. That's pretty wild. There's a deep pool of salt to my bottom left. Once again, just trying to like enter as many different screens as possible to try to regain our bearings quickly here. Ooh, the Isachari. Let me guess. They want to eat me? They are feeling fairly hostile, actually. And some of them have rifles, and these are real rifles. Remember, we often seek out those rifles with a gun character, so let's just give them a nice wide berth here. I was hoping to kind of travel northwest because, you know, our destination is roughly in that direction, but go around the Isachari first. Nightfall. Cool. Well... okay. Whew. Let's head down into Hyperboloid Tree Had. Remember, if we ever do get into like a dangerous situation, we have our recoiler for the city now. Okay, that's a bunch of thirst thistle. That seems like a nightmare, but that is in fact the arrow. Pretty nice to just start right on top of the, +1 to each attribute. It's pretty cool. It is pretty nice to just start right on top of the value tile for the area. So do we want to try to... maybe we just recoil home, honestly. Then again, I was going to go to the stilt, wasn't I? Okay, when we transition screens, Yopanax just comes with us immediately, even if he's already engaged in combat elsewhere, which is, I guess, a nice way of saving his life. This is a prickler and a member of the cult of Kopur. Bulbous snags of plant are clustered in sundry sizes. Spines poke through the dusty spider matting that dresses them. Let's shoot you with a brain laser. Pretty funny. Okay, so there's certainly part of me that does want to explore. These turtles are just they're a little too tough for the brain laser. But they're not too tough for me to run over here and cleave them into pieces. Never mind. The dismember did not, in fact, penetrate its armor. Frustrating. Yeah, so unfortunately, even when the horns do trigger, they don't necessarily hit. It's still an attack, and as such can miss, as you're seeing in the combat log periodically. I thought Yopanax was just kind of wandering away, but I like that he has the tactical wherewithal to move to charge distance and recharge when possible. All right, we're racing this turtle down. Okay. Rest until healed. I mean, I don't know how much time I want to spend exploring this space since we got the most valuable thing from it, but I mean, at the very least, I would like to see if there are books around. Okay, so we got some tetraxenonoglass walls protecting some becoming nooks. A rectangle of Nutrifoam imprinted with the human form hangs beneath an arch of glass. Across the foam, at eye level, glyphs loop on an elliptical screen. Surgical machinery obscured by blinding light beetles out from the underside of the enclosing dome. So these are things that Truekin characters, cybernetics-enabled characters, can use to install cybernetic bits into their body, and you'll often find some on these racks. That means that these racks are actually probably filled with treasure. We're just going to hack through the walls a little bit here. Obviously, xenonoglass, pretty easy to make a hole in, because it is just a kind of glass in the end. Oops, that was the wrong button. Not butcher corpses off. Laser beam on. Laser beam maximum lasering. And then dismember. Got him? Did I get him? I did. No, I didn't. I didn't penetrate his armor with the dismember, but I did cleave his armor. Okay, and his armor's all fucked up now. If I were more confident, if I were more patient, and I waited, what kind of fish are you? Wet prism perch and member of the cult of Copper. Unlidded eyes stare out from a whirling school of opalescent scales. Well, they're hostile, so they get the brain laser. The brain laser is insufficient. They will also receive the axe, because I got them to badly wounded from the lasering, so they're pretty close to... Yeah, wow, 350 XP. That's really rad. Do I hear... I'm a little worried that Yopenax... Oh, Yopenax is in combat with a turtle. I was going to say, I'm a little worried that I hear him fighting, and it kind of sounds like he's fighting a turret, but no. And that there's one of the Daughters of Exile. Huh. Oil smears and arc burns stripe the flesh that peeks out from under the frustum of her habit, and the tools belted to her waistline put a sag in her breeches. She is guided by the stitch of her order's diasporic emblem, set with a magnetic needle, and pointing her toward the wild gardens beyond the wall. And she has a sharp two-handed carbide battle axe that I would love to have. There is absolutely no chance that we can take that from her with violence. Alright. Good work. Way to distract him. She's not hostile, right? No. She's neutral. She's just headed toward us. Prickler took a swing at her and she immediately annihilated it. Hey there, can we trade? Do you have cool stuff? You have a Fullerite longsword and some data discs and whatnot. You know, I'm not really a longsword kind of girl, but that thing has some stats on it. There's no way I could generate 397 trade value. Well, this book about the dark calculus is actually worth half of it. We're not going to get it. It's fine. We'd want a fancy axe anyway. Okay, that's just a friendly wild dog. Oh, there's thistles in there. Let's be a little wary. Okay, we're going to start by grabbing this set of strange tubes, which could be anything. They look like a chair, but maybe they're a grenade launcher. I like to think I've learned my lesson on that one. Nope, it was a metal folding chair. That's right the first time. Alright, well, let's just smash our way through the glass here. Very clumsy way of gaining entry, but, you know, don't have a lot of options. And as soon as we can get through this, we can send a quick brain laser over to you, and then a Skillsoft implant for laying mines and setting bombs. That's probably pretty valuable. You are no aristocrat. Goodbye. Yeah, sadly we are not licensed in the use of these machines. They can tell. They know things about us that we do not even know about ourselves. All right, let's see about this area over here. Oh, the thirst thistle's behind a wall. Okay, so what is this? A gas burner. Yeah, okay. Contains plumbing, enabling it to function as part of a hydraulic transmission system, consuming hydraulic power. Yeah, cool. And then there's just a bunch of tables, right? Could you maybe get out of the way? A glass bottle of putrescence. I mean, we may as well take it. Nothing on that table, nothing on that table, and nothing on that table. Okay. Obviously, putrescence by itself, not a super exciting sort of find. Ow. Damn ivory. Wow, he bled all the way down to yellow damage level. That's quick. This is so rad. Okay, whole bunch of books. Just as Tikva just, dear people lead, and I have a stronger. Damn right. The Lattice. Sounds like some pretty okay sci-fi. I should check this table. Yeah, Ludosteel Warhammer. You hear an irritable tortoise and member of the cult of Kopur, so you refrain from gathering. No, I want to gather. Cat. It's so weird that it wanted to stop me from auto-gathering because there was an enemy in another room that had no path to us. That's probably a little bit overly cautious. Okay, how do we even get down there? It's this way. Permanent. They are administered in its furrows. No, I didn't want to read it. I want to get it. If either will be better able, we'll get that too. All right, you. Let's do this. Laser beam doesn't even get through. What about the dismember? Nope. I didn't even hit it with the dismember. That's really embarrassing. Look at that turtle. It's the size of a dog. Okay, this is interesting. Processing cores. I mean, yeah, sure. Nope. Do it. Do it any... I wish there was a do it anyway. Because I do want to gather all the things. And you can force it to gather even though you hear enemies. But you have to do so one item at a time. And I want to do all the items at a time because I'm very lazy. Okay. Some rubble. Wow. Those thistles were very laser resistant. Oh, it's those fish. So they do show up as tough when we examine them. But I guess I don't really know what that means, because they sure go down real easy. And we get points for stripping them to the bone. Okay, free metal folding chairs. If only we could find a society where these were the main currency. We could live like kings. I do wonder if those thistles are like guarding something of value. You know, we may as well take all these torches off this table. Yeah, the light laser can do some really, really good damage, and it doesn't seem to miss. Or maybe it just has like very high base accuracy, but it definitely it's getting the job done most of the time. So the thing about these guys, right? The thing to remember is that if you are taking damage from, if you are getting thirsted. Okay, this square is visible to me. Let's just let them chill for a couple of turns. All right, I got some XP out of that. I also froze this door, but it's in the open state, so I can still move through it, right? Yeah. Okay, those thirst thistles were worth a remarkable amount of XP. But what I was saying is, you know, they basically like they punch money out of you, right? It's like fighting Mr. Shakedown. This is a chargeable situation. Okay. Ooh. Injector. Hell yeah. And what's on that? A club. I will not even pick it up. Let me have a look at this small milky tube. Okay, rubber gum. Cool. So, anything of value down here? Yes. One more. Ooh, an illuminated book, too. Hammer shaft is capped unabridged. That is filthy. But you know, even the people of the past have a right to their smut, just as we have a right to ours. So real quick, just to look at these books. In a dusty corner of the same thought stuff as his ego, travel there, watch your step. Dear people lead, and I have a stronger. Some help you are. Bose-Einstein condensates are delicious. Obviously, this is stuff we all know. In my haste to reach the nearest star among its victims in the breast of a small splinter myself, to slide a bead on the bright realm. All right, avert your eyes if you're sensitive. Did you need something? Okay, we found the least erotic line in the book. It either will be better able. The chair recognized a warden who asked to ascend the rostrum and reported on a galactic visage, and edges drawn between Edinburgh and the high strata window makers. It's a terribly boring meeting minutes, unfortunately. Just as Tikva just, our hearts are in the bondage of the eponymous mushroom and finely ground. Okay, so it's another romance novel. Permanent, they are administered in its furrows, the very core of Hindred Make. Volume 9 of The Lattice. It's going to be very difficult to pick this thing up in the middle. Also, Mac absolutely must cease advising that anyone enter the tomb and find a way that the Dreadroot is a strongly worded accusation based on your map. It's easy to find. Oh, it's an Always Sunny spec script. Not one of the better ones I've read. But Angohind, Master Detective. But Angohind, indeed. All right, to the north. If we get lost, we can just keep going north. They spawned me at the south end of a map here for a reason, because they are monsters. We could just kill this pilgrim and gain things. Yes, live and drink. But what I actually mean is die and be drunk, get dismembered. I cleaved through his armor. I chopped off his... I chopped his feet clean off. How do you even do that? How does that happen? All right, we did it. Take the copper nugget and the bandages. I collect the 12 drams of fresh water. Hell yeah. Free water skin. Oh, a hat. Yeah, I don't want your feet or your bloody sandals, but this hat will hide our shame. Okay. Let's get out of here. And I'm lost. And I'm on fire. Oh, God. Sprinting. Sprinting is now. The time for sprinting is now. Okay, the thing is still following us. It has set fire to my goat. Oh, there's so many of them. Okay, can I rest until healed here? Yes, I am famished, but I'm not getting murdered. A fish soybean, a sprinkle of eternal dogthorn, some contralateral brine stock, and a sprinkle of the most valiant ash. I only eat the most valiant ash. Rest until healed? Cool. Okay, bearings regained. That is always a huge danger when you get lost in the desert. 1500 XP just for getting to the stilt. Whew. Okay, and we'll talk to people and we'll explore. That's a person on fire. What happened there? That is just a flaming mechanimous preacher. Did y'all know that person was on... okay. A glow moth and pariah to its people. A two-headed slug snout and mechanimist convert. And what are you? A gelatinous wedge. Yeah, no, I get that's exactly what they drew. I don't know why that was confusing to me. You gonna be okay there, friend? The problem is he's like sitting in a campfire. Okay, well, if you burn to death, I get dibs on your gear. Real quick, we're just gonna say what's up to Shiba Hagadius. Hey, you want some books, huh? Let me tell you something about some books. I think I'm cool to just hand these all over. That was 10,000 experience. 10,148 experience. All right. Do you have anything else? Okay, not really. So we're level 10. That was a pretty fast gain there. Let's take a second and look at our skills. So we have one attribute point. I think I am just going to push intelligence. I'm going to get us to tinkering too. We're going to learn how to tinker. Is this a good thing for this character to be doing? I have no idea, but it is what we're doing. We have 5 mutation points, so we could just buy a new mutation. We could advance our double-headedness. We could... You know, I wanna rank up our hearing, actually. So we spend 1 point, and then 1 point gets spent randomly. Your irritable genome max up, your base rank and light manipulation increases. I think that's fine. And then I think I'm gonna buy another level of heightened hearing. Yeah, because if we can get the radius up, that seems pretty good. And then that's gonna spend another point on something else. Did it? I don't know. Well, I mean, I just buy it again, right? Okay. You know, more points in double muscled could be good as well. I don't know if the strength bonus ever increases. My guess would be that it probably doesn't, because it's quite a significant bonus, right? All right. So now skills. We have 510 skill points available. We definitely want to pick up Charging Strike. Opening with that kind of thing in combat is a big deal, I think. I want to pick up Cooking and Gathering. We get Meal Prep. Weren't we supposed to start in a village that teaches Harvestry? Or was it a thing where it's like somebody in the village can teach it to you? I bet it was. We might want to just go back there and pick up Harvestry in some way. And then... I mean, obviously, Mind's Compass is always good. So pick up the starting level of Wayfaring. The other thing we could do is we could decide to be a multi-weapon fighter. We don't have the huge amount of agility, but you can pick these things up with strength. It's just you don't have all of the, you know, extra accuracy. But obviously, multi-weapon fighting with axes can be very powerful. Just like bits of people flying off left and right. Do we have... Oh, right, because Charging Strike is in both the axe and cudgel trees. That makes sense. Yeah, I kind of do. If we picked up single weapon fighting instead, whenever you score a critical hit with a melee weapon, the cooldowns of up to 2 random weapon or shield skills are refreshed. Oh, I mean, that's powerful. Pushing super hard on Dismember is definitely a strategy. Whenever you make a melee attack while single weapon fighting, there's a 50% chance for you to immediately make a second attack for free. Actually, maybe we want to do this and try to find ourselves a big two-handed weapon. Melee attacks always penetrate 1 extra time, obviously pretty good with a bigger weapon. And eventually, whenever you make a melee attack, immediately make a second attack for free. That's very strong. Yeah, we don't usually do big weapon fighting. I don't think we've tried that with any characters this series. It might be interesting. Yeah, we have 310 points left, so I could grab the starting skill and weapon expertise. That feels pretty significant. Let's take that and weapon expertise. Then we still have 60 left, and we just sit on that, I think. We could learn much more effective bandages with our 50 points. I think we'll just hold off. Yeah, I think we're good. So, okay, I'm feeling strong. Oh, I was going to learn how to tinker at some point. That's probably a thing we should devote some skill points to eventually. Gadget Inspector would certainly be lovely to have, and then, you know, eventually disassemble and tinker 1. Yeah, I probably should have grabbed some of this. I was all excited about killing people with an axe. Yeah, it's a skill set that's very near and dear to my heart. Anyway, I think that's gonna be it for us for today. The beginning of Jackie Fourhorns' story is in the books now, and I think it's pretty auspicious. We cut a guy's face off right away, and then we put it on our own face to warn everyone in the wasteland. This is what could happen to your face. Maybe just like stay over there, huh? When you come back next time, we may even chop off more faces. I'm certainly going to try to chop off more faces. We'll see how it goes. And we'll see you then.